And now we move on from the forests of Sithilingi Valley, which are tropical and ancient little hills around it. We move to another set of very, very ancient hills in the west of India to a little land called Ranthambhore. Ranthambhore is famous for its tigers, and I am going to present to you a story that is close to my heart, a project that is very, very close to my heart. We start with a little film about Dastkar Ranthambhore, a day in the life of Rameshwari at Dastkar Ranthambhore. Nina.
A dedicated mother, grandmother of 7, and an exceptional craftsman, Rameshwari Devi lives in the village of Sherpur, Ranthambhore. She has worked at Dastkar Ranthambhore for over 25 years now. With her skills in patchwork and stitching, she has been a valuable employee, creating patchwork quilts and cloth animals, in addition to being a leader and a listening ear for her group members.
When the Ranthambhore sanctuary was created, many villagers were removed from their land, left with only their traditional craft skills. Dastkar used these craft skills into creating products for the urban market.
With the income she and other women have gained here, they have achieved financial independence, which enables them to take care of their families and educate their children. Their skills and expert training for the craftsmanship and an exposure to the world outside has led to changed attitudes towards caste, class, education, gender, and equality.
We made a real effort to ensure the continued existence of our traditional craft techniques, through which we have tried to re-establish the local villages.
हमने ये काम छपाई का सवाई माधोपुर में बहुत पहले से 40-50 साल पहले से होता था। हमारा छपा हुआ कपड़ा लोकल आदमी में ज़्यादा बिकता था, उस वक्त पहनते थे। लेकिन धीरे धीरे लोकल आदमी का ये कपड़ा बंद हो गया और थोड़ा ये काम डाउन हो गया हमारा। इसके बाद हमें दस्तकार ने मतलब संभाला, दस्तकार में हम आ गए और दस्तकार से मतलब हमको मतलब काफ़ी सहायता मिली।
पहले हम दुपट्टा बड़ा बनाते थे, गाँव में बिकता था। अब वो रिवाज ख़त्म हो गया, गाँव में बिकता नहीं है, फिर हम दस्तकार में आए, यहाँ से हमने दुपट्टा चालू किया और ये जगह जगह बेंगलोर, जयपुर, मद्रास, पूना, बॉम्बे सब जगह बिकता है। इससे हमारे को कुछ चंदा मिलता है।
Dastkar Ranthambhore is now a home for Rameshwari Devi and the others, as well as the next generation from the villages.
Thank you so much. And now I shall present the work that I have been doing for 30 years with this lovely little project in the forests of Ranthambhore, near the forests of Ranthambhore, not in anyway. So I'm really honored to present this story that's so close to my heart. Dastkar Ranthambhore was my first project after college, and I've been associated with them since 1992. They've adopted me as one of their own, and we reach out to each other in our moments of joy, in our moments of celebration, angst, and despair. But most of all, we reach out to each other to share our dreams and our hope. In the west of India, in the state of Rajasthan, in the district of Savai Madhopur, lies Ranthambhore, one of the most successful tiger conservation programs worldwide. Rajasthan is the largest state in India and also the most populated. But since half the state is an arid desert, most of the people living along its southeastern side, where Ranthambhore is located, is where most of the population lives. It's a dry deciduous forest, and this photograph was taken in the 1.5 months, I think 40 days of rain that it gets in a year. From being the private hunting grounds of the Jaipur Maharaja, the forests of Ranthambhore was notified as a tiger reserve in 1973. The population density in the villages around Ranthambhore right now is approximately 330 people per square mile, with about 520 out of the 4,000 square miles of the district taken up by the forest and much more by the buffer zones. There's a constant territorial tussle between people and wildlife, between field and forest. You can see this aerial view of the map of the forest. Approximately 60 square miles of the national park was established in 1980. It's now expanded to 109 square miles as the tiger population is increasing, which is good news. The 8 stars are the places where Ranthambhore Dastkar works, and the blue circle that you see in the map is the boundary of the Forest National Park, where trespassing by humans is a punishable offense. Twelve villages with approximately 800 families of at least 10 members each were relocated, or I would say displaced, when the government in the early 80s, in its effort to protect the tiger from human interference, made it a no man's zone. 4 more villages were relocated in 2002, another 5 in 2016, and an additional 8 are in the process of being resettled, or rather unsettled, as we speak. 12 of the villages, and the formation and the continuous expansion of these, the Tiger Reserve has placed an immense socioeconomic pressure and stress on the population in the region adjoining the forest. The displaced communities and those residing in villages near the forest boundaries can no longer access it for their traditional livelihoods of agriculture, cattle grazing, or collecting firewood. There was an urgent need to address this human impact from wildlife conservation. Dastkar Ranthambhore was established in 1989 to provide an alternate livelihood to people, particularly to women affected by the formation of the Ranthambhore National Park for tigers. And why women, you would ask, since displacement affects all gender? The reason we started working with women is because this region in particular in India is not just densely populated, but also steeply patriarchal. Even today, the region has one of the worst gender ratios in our country, with only 897 females per 1,000 males. In 1991, it was as low as 852 females per 1,000 males. Feticide and infanticide of females was rampant. Child marriages were common, and teen pregnancies were the norm. Did we need any more reason to start a project with women? From 8 women in a small rented home in Sherpur village, where Rameshwari comes from in the film that you saw, in 1989, we started with a turnover of about $440. And now the enterprise works in 8 villages and has around 400 primary bank account holders who reach out to several families each, and together they make and sell products worth $245,000. This is of great importance because the region is so remote that to buy a zipper or a button, we have to go 3 hours by road to Jaipur, which is our nearest town, to even get a decent button to fit on our blouses. All of this that we started out in 1989 was with a seed fund of barely 2,500 US dollars over 6 long years. We have remained a self-sustained enterprise ever since. We've expanded our reach as and when we amass a small surplus from our profits. We have not got much funding from most places, and we pay our taxes regularly every year. Our progress has been rather slow but very steady, with a near zero attrition rate. Our methods at making Dastkar Ranthambhore a successful endeavor are multi-pronged. At the core of it lies our commitment to our people, to quality output, and to fair trade practices. We revived the dyeing technique of block printing and tie-dye and helped traditional printmakers from the Chipa community set up their studio within our work center, and we funded new trainees in the craft. We continue to provide them with orders year-round. We buy them raw material so we can control quality, and we help them access international markets like Aid to Artisans, 10,000villages.com, and HEMA in Holland. Besides printing and tie-dye, we have incubated micro-enterprises in printing, dyeing, leather crafts, lacquer jewelry, and pottery, reviving old traditions that were all but lost. Our stakeholders are no longer dependent on the forest for their livelihoods and can support their families in accessing better education and healthcare. Here's one such example of our leather crafters who developed footwear with Swiss and Belgian designers for Vivo Barefoot of England. While 3 decades ago, we started working with women who were illiterate and attained motherhood in their early teens, it's heartening to see their daughters completing school and granddaughters completing college, pursuing careers in distant towns, their marriages and motherhoods delayed until they feel ready to take on such responsibilities. We are mindful of the load our women have to bear as homemakers and hence tweak our production schedules to suit their calendar. They have the liberty to work less during festivals and harvest seasons and work overtime during the hot summer months at our center where we have 24-hour electricity. While in their village homes, they have power cuts and temperatures average between 45 to 50 degrees Celsius. Our products, therefore, are more maker-centric than market-centric. We create products using local skills that echo our leitmotif of a native jungle. We try and encapsulate the simple and rustic ethos of our people. That makes our product as our brand identity. Our product speaks our brand. Our design speaks of the place and its people. It's bright, it's colorful, it's happy, it's loud, it's wild. You have to be in our Kendra, in our center, with our women to hear the raucous laughter and feel the spirit of joy. We celebrate the jungle motif in its naive and rustic representation, just the way our people render it. These are mostly created by the people and tweaked by designers like me to suit urban markets and global sensitivities. Since traditional craft skills are rare in this region, we invent new crafts using everyday adeptness the women have to have in their hands. For example, this series of animals were developed by using simple braiding techniques because, hey, which little girl doesn't know how to braid her hair? Our primary purpose, of course, remains craft-based livelihoods. 2 entire villages are now making thousands of little creatures every year and exporting it worldwide. We have a vocabulary of about 20 creatures now, and I think 10 dinosaurs. Besides the tiger, Ranthambhore is also a bird watcher's paradise with over 300 species of birds to be found. What started out as a new craft to use the fabric scraps from our tailoring unit, our birds, which are replicas of real ones in Ranthambhore, are bestsellers now, and we have over 30 different ones in our production. As you can see, I've done a collage of birds, the Tickles flycatcher, the real one and the fabric one, the weaver bird, the Indian robin, the jungle babbler, the black redstart. We've got tree pies, magpies, all sorts of peacocks, woodpeckers. There are tons of birds in our vocabulary now. At the core of our social enterprise is our maker's income. Hence, we find ways to reduce other costs in our product, like materials and overheads. We use simple tools and techniques to maximize the component of labor in every product that we sell. These are baskets made out of Tetra Paks. The juice cartons and milk cartons used by hotels and resorts around the wildlife sanctuary are simply burnt because there is no waste disposal system to be found in the area around the forest. So we actually upcycle these cartons into these colorful baskets, and they bring a fairly good revenue for the makers. There are about 110 villages in the periphery of the Tiger Reserve. As per conservation plans, a total of 68 villages need to be placed outside the forest zone to protect the tiger habitat. As Dastkar Ranthambhore, we have tried to work in 14 of these villages and managed to establish self-help groups of women in only 8. Our work is far from over. We are constantly battling this man and beast conflict. We also are facing a new challenge of an aging workforce, since the villages we work in have bettered their lives and their living standards and no longer have families needing our intervention. Our 2 work centers that cater to villages in an area of around 15 square kilometers are now seeing dwindling numbers. We are keen to establish new work centers further away to address the affected populations of those who are newly displaced. The demand in global and domestic market for our products remains high, but we are unable to fulfill this demand. The demand for enrollment into our enterprise is immense in the region, but we lack the funds to provide new skill training to new groups we engage with. We also need funds to expand our managerial staff to maintain the ease of operations in procurement, production, marketing, and hand-holding our makers. In this new world of data analytics, quick returns and scalability and what have you, our tried and tested method of being mindful, slow and steady, of hand-holding every single person we engage with and ensuring a worthwhile income to all those who knock at our doors, we fail miserably in creating a proposal that has tall claims to suit grant makers and social venture capitalists. We really don't know how to put our story across of being small and beautiful, but many smalls make a very large beautiful. However, we are a feisty bunch. We never give up. 33 years on, our team members who are seen in this photograph were the first to join us in 1989, and they continue to work relentlessly in making this enterprise successful. Having survived 2 unsettling years of COVID lockdowns, we are ever ready to take on new challenges. We would love to have more like-minded souls helping us further our goals in providing craft-based livelihoods to newer communities in the Ranthambhore region. Please do reach out to us at these mail IDs. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Shukriya.